Welcome to the Men's Show, where we have discussions, debates, and usually drinks about theology, philosophy, the church, and life. Today, I've got David Uhlenhake. Did I get that right?
Yep, got it right.
And then we've got Nick Delatorre, and then I'm your host, Kevin Jorrey. Today, we're going to be talking about how to become a stronger man, physically and spiritually, how to take getting humbled when you try something new, and the value of having a group of brothers to lean on.
So valuable.
If you want to put some hair on your chest, don't go anywhere.
I don't think Alina would appreciate if I got any more hair on my chest.
I don't know if that means that you have a lot of hair or no hair, and I'm a little scared to ask.
I could just show it. I'm not going to do that.
Well, in the spirit of Peter Range, if you caught, that other episode where we tried to get him to show his chest hair, let's, leave some room for
mystery.
The imagination.
Yes, the mystery of the body.
Modesty is key.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Before we begin, we would be nowhere without our beautiful patrons. So join the men's patron group. We've got exclusive things going on over there. We're redoing a couple things as well. We're going to have exclusive access, videos. I just posted a video there today, literally showing myself doing, some physical reps, showing you how to do some workout tips, whatever. Some people say that I have a physique like a Greek god. I don't know these people.
I literally say that every day.
I'm not sure if they exist.
I wake up in the morning and I tell Alina, Kevin's physique is that of a Greek god.
Exactly. So
sounds like a pagan thing.
We're not pagan. Those are those people. These are us people. That's it. But anyways, join us at themenshow.com, themenshow.com. And the best place to access themenshow.com is at the Awaken app. So you can get the Awaken app at theawakenapp.io. And actually, for this very live stream, we are only taking live chats from the Awaken app. So if you don't have it yet and you're viewing somewhere else, go to theawakenapp.io. There's a beautiful community of, genuine Catholics that we're all striving to be as holy and faithful to God as we can be. So join us there. There's prayers, there's a music library, there's other shows and show hosts that you can interact with. So go to theawakenapp.io, join the live chat, and have a discussion with us. You can have drinks. We can't because we're doing Exodus 90, but join us at the Awaken app.
Yeah, and if you do make comments there on the live stream in the Awaken app, we will be seeing them and we will respond regardless of the absurdity. But I will say this: if your live stream, there it is. That's the feed that's all set and ready for the live chats. And if you are watching on a different platform like Facebook or YouTube, and you're like, "Wow, I want to say this thing," don't do it. Don't bother because we won't see it. Do it in the Awaken app, though.
And still comment on there, too, because it helps the algorithm.
Yeah,
but make sure to go to the Awaken app. Great place, great people. Let's get into it. So, gentlemen, today I kind of alluded to at the start where, we're going to be talking about some manly stuff, some physical, some spiritual. Andrew Reinhardt, if you are with us, please pray for us because we need your physical spirituality. But so David and I were involved in something. We went for the first time a couple weeks ago, and we went this past week as well. And David, first, I want to introduce you first. David, tell me in 10 seconds, who is David Uhlenhake?
Can he do it?
In 10 seconds? No.
You got this.
I'm not setting a timer, don't worry.
Born and raised in Northwest Ohio, right around the corner from these fellas. And I'm a faithful Catholic and way more faithful in the last few years than I have been the majority of my life.
Beautiful.
That was actually exactly 10 seconds.
That was awesome. Good job.
Thanks.
And actually, too, like what I found is, being and just walking with your brothers, it makes you stronger yourself too. So we're building each other up. So this thing that we did, the past couple weeks, this physical activity with a bunch of other guys, that is, for our physical health and trying to, be good men of God. Explain to me what that was.
Yeah, so we went to F3, which is a men's workout group. It's fitness. Oh, it's good. It's up there on the screen. Fitness, fellowship, and faith. It's all over the nation, even international. I noticed that there's groups getting together in Australia and South Korea, not North Korea for some reason.
I wonder why. Sideswipe on North Korea.
Oh my gosh.
That helps the algorithms too, right?
I think so.
But it's a group of men who wake up bright and early. They work out, always outdoors, always led by somebody in the group, ends in a circle of trust. It's an excellent display of just what it is to be a man and to be together.
I feel like that's such a fitting thing for you to be a part of specifically, because I find you to be, David, in the time I've known you, you always are like trying to rally your brothers in the Lord to like greatness. And I am generally striving for the same, leaning more into the spiritual side of that. Just because, I do exercise, especially now with Exodus 90. But I don't like get excited about like, I'm just going to go like wreck myself at the gym. And if I'm ever like talking to you about getting together or something, like you're the first one to be like, yeah. And when we get together to chat, why don't we do it at the gym and we can work out while we talk? And I'm just like, what if we meet at a coffee shop instead? And I just think it's so great to have, well, I mean, in general, and I've said this to a lot of people about you, you are just one of the most interesting people I know. And I never cease to be surprised and overjoyed by that surprise at like some of the interesting things that I'll learn about you or that you'll bring to the table. Like literally, like we met for coffee the other morning and I thought you had a Bible sitting next to you the whole time. And halfway through our time at the coffee shop, you were like, you want to play chess? And I was like, what? And the whole time he's got this mobile, chessboard with him. Anyways,
Normal people don't do that.
No, not generally. In all of my years of coffee shop going, I've never had that happen once.
So who won?
Did we finish? I don't think we finished it. No, you did win. You won.
Was it close?
But it was my first time.
No way.
And he told me then, I don't know if he would hold to this. He told me then he was impressed by my performance.
Very impressed.
Very nice.
But anyways, I just appreciate about you, David, and I long to emulate in you that just constant encouragement in an invitational way where it's not like, hey, you should be working out. It's like, hey, come work out with me. Like the way that you do that so persistently, even after years of someone saying no to you, like me, and you never give up on people. And I love that. And so when you invited me to join this F3 thing and I said no.
Every single time.
But it's just so fitting, and it's such a cool venue to get to invite people into it because there's that fraternal element to it. So I don't want to jump ahead.
And
but
Nick, I was you.
Were you?
David was here being a great brother in the Lord, inviting me to try to better myself, right?
It was one of my first times I reached out to you was to go, hey, Kevin, you look like you should enjoy F3. We could check that out together.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't like, hey, Kevin, you look like you could benefit from F3?
Oh my gosh. But he was so right.
Maybe.
And really, like months, I think like every now and again you'd be like, hey, I'm doing this thing. Do you want to come? Like
I used the messaging app on the Awaken. The Awaken
you
app.
did.
Yeah.
That's a great use of the Awaken app is to invite your brothers and sisters to better themselves, like either spiritually, Nick, or physically, like David's trying to help us out here.
Just to clarify, I am not as holy as he is physically healthy.
I love that.
Drawing that comparison, I felt was a bit not quite hitting the nail on the head, but
well, you can only be as good as you can be. So you got some room for improvement. There we go. But okay, so in the like manner, you're inviting me to this place, and I keep saying no, and then all of a sudden I'm like, let's just do it. And then the day that I say, let's, I'm okay doing this workout with all these guys at 6:30 in the morning, outside no matter what, it happens to be like -4, -5 degrees Fahrenheit. And for our metric system people, 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So I don't know what the conversion is, but like 35, 40 degrees less than that. Pretty cold. Can we get image number 2 up there, Ethan?
The conversion 5/9 times Fahrenheit minus 32.
That's my face right now, right here. That's my face to what David just said. How do you know the conversion?
I don't know if that's accurate, but
well, in all likelihood, it's at least close. So the other thing that hasn't been said yet about David is he is an engineer, inventor, scientist, like just crazy, basically crazy person would be the most appropriate summation.
Engaged to be married as well. So many things
Molly,
happening.
very, very exciting that you are with her. She's an awesome girl.
Yep, I agree.
Now is the time to, say how beautiful and everything she is. Like, all right.
For you to say that, not us.
Oh,
Yeah.
It would be weird. All right. But anyway, so this picture, my beard is not white. I don't know if you can tell that. Like, it was literally frozen. There's another picture of one of the guys in a separate group where, like, his eyelashes were frozen. They were just beads of ice from his eyelashes. So it was very cold, and we had basically just a cinder block that was basically an ice block. And, we're lugging it around, we're lifting it, we're, carrying it everywhere, we're doing curls, we're doing everything. And, like, your hands and your fingers are just completely frozen. And that was my first experience. And it was great because I didn't want something easy, right? Like, how often does our society say, hey, here's something easy, you should be able to do it. And it doesn't rouse our spirits. It doesn't rouse, like, the spirit of challenge. Like, I want a challenge. Like, I want to be challenged. Like, help me with that. And this is exactly what that did. So, like, just the spirit of, like, other men walking with other men, trying to build them up and make them stronger. Like, I love being a part of a team, and that's what this did for me. Even when it was, -4, -5 degrees, and you're holding an ice block. Like, this is what, like, men, I think, need to do more of, is, like, rally together and just go and do something difficult. And it doesn't matter what it is, as long as you suffer together. What do you guys think about that? Like, just suffering together.
It's critical.
Yeah.
The having people that will pursue greatness together, that creates a challenge for, especially with men, right? Yes. We challenge each other. When you see somebody else picking up that cinder block and going to the next line, and then lifting it over their head 25 times, you go, okay, I can do that. It lets you know you can do it, and gives us a little challenge to do a little bit more, a little bit better.
Oh, totally.
We can probably drop that graphic, by the way.
I kind of like it there. It made me look.
Gosh.
It made me look cool. All right, maybe not. But literally, like, you would lift the block 2 times, go to the next line. Lift it 4 times, go to the next line. 8 times, 16 times, 32 times. And this whole time, there's a line of men, and you're all struggling, together to reach, what you haven't been able to reach before. I like to get into the societal aspects of these types of things. I know we're just talking about workouts and that sort of thing, but, like, how has our society treated men, like, for the last maybe few decades? Like, what do you think society says a man should be right now?
Weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it. It's been a very, like, elusive, subtle message that's been kind of okay. I think it started probably more like a covert thing, and then it's kind of become more overt. But, like, I think back on all of the sitcoms and, like, just Hollywood portrayals of family life, and in how many of those cases is the father figure portrayed as this emasculated joke of a person, in favor of the mother being the one who runs the household and is the leader of the family and is the only one that knows the right answers to situations. And it's been portrayed in this comedic environment in ways that it just is like, oh, you don't notice it. Oh, this is just a funny thing. But in reality, it's portraying the emasculization of men who should be leading their families to virtue and leading their families to heaven. And I have no problem with sitcoms. I have no problem with Hollywood portraying families, but when it's done in just such a ubiquitous way, where it's like across the board, it's hard to find a sitcom where the man was a strong leader, or, so I think that those are some of the ways it's been more implicit, more covert. And then we just see more and more in like this kind of, women's lib culture of the men have been oppressing women for centuries and blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, who do you think voted women's rights into existence? Men. Like, we do care, and we probably have for a long time. And I think that we've just kind of gotten this weird narrative that's being shoved down our throats in such an explicit way now, and they're teaching it in the schools. It's really tragic, because what we're teaching young boys, and you add to that the dynamic where they're growing up without fathers, so many of them, or at least without a father in the household, if it's just a broken family, they just aren't seeing that example of true and authentic masculinity. And anyways, this has become very long-winded, and I'm just going to stop
I
there.
love where you're going with all of this. Like even, the school system itself. And if you just look at the numbers of who's graduating and who's not, it's something like 60% of college grads are women now, and 40% are men. And there's all these disparities. Now, disparity doesn't, necessarily mean there could be something wrong. Maybe, there's like a cultural issue, or maybe, men need to step up, something like that. But I just think we're not made to sit in a classroom for 8 hours a day and stare, at a book or a screen or whatever. Like, we need to get out there, and we need strong mentors. And I think that's how men learn. I don't know. And I think Hollywood too, like you were mentioning, I think of countless, examples like Modern Family, like the one dad, like he's a bumbling idiot. The old dad, Ed O'Neill, he's part of an outdated system, and he only exists to really show how he is wrong, and then how modern society shows you should be. I was talking about this yesterday on the Daily Saint, and one of our live streamers, Janice, looking at you are awesome, said that, we're just ignorant of our past, and like we're ignorant of it, and we are doomed to repeat all the same mistakes that are going to happen, maybe in, new and interesting ways. But like that's one example. I even think, Ed O'Neill, I think of Married with Children, he's a shoe salesman, and everyone is just crapping on him constantly, right? And he's portrayed as an idiot. He doesn't know what to do. And it's one of those like flashes of things where, occasionally he'll get something right, and it's like, oh, good for him. Like, he could do like the most basic thing. But then I look back and I'm like, Rocky. Like, I love the Rocky series. Anyone else with me on Rocky? Like, just this man, a humble man.
You got Ethan yelping from the control room.
Ethan, yes. Like, my brother, let's do this. I just think of Rocky, like this humble man who's unsure of himself.
Yeah.
He's going through all these trials. He's trying to, build himself up to be better for, his bride, Adrian. He's trying to have a holy family. Literally, Rocky 2, by the way, is one of the most Catholic movies ever. Like, half of the movie is in the chapel. He's just praying because, did I say Adrian? I meant Adrian. Adrian is one of our Adrian's one of our very, very good friends. But Adrian, she's just she's in a coma the whole time. So I know I've pulled a Nick here, everybody. I've just gone all, but like,
let us know in the comments. Do you have any examples that you can think of from Hollywood portrayals of really solid masculinity? Let us know in the comments if you're.
I think one of my favorites in the most recent, because it seems like every time I go to a movie, it's woke, right? I think the most recent one I've been to that really impressed me was 1917, right? It was World War I.
The war, yeah.
Right? It's an image of I'm getting some cues to go into the mic, I guess. Yeah, got it. It's a portrayal of a set of men, brothers, right, in war, going across the whole landscape of World War I, and really just pursuing truth, pursuing greatness, and trying to protect and serve. And it's a beautiful display of masculinity. When they meet a woman in need, it's not a James Bond approach, right? They really try to just help and then support her and lift her up. And that's something that's missing in a lot of these modern day films, is they're lacking the complementarity of the sexes.
Oh yeah, that's right? So good.
So it's good. One thing to say they're portraying men all wrong, but they're also portraying women all wrong.
It's so true. Yeah.
It's because they're trying to portray them as men. And we don't have to go too deep into detail about what that means, but we've lost the tension. I love tension.
Yeah.
Right? There's good tension in this world, and there's bad tension. And when you have two complementarities, pulling against each other is this beautiful tension that can happen. But if you've got things going all in the wrong direction, it gets tangled up.
Yeah,
and that's where we're at today.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so well said. And I actually haven't seen 1917, but I really want to.
There's some other stuff that happened around that time period that was pretty cool too. I don't know. Does anyone know about Fatima? Have you ever heard of that? I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yes.
I was there.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh, so cool. Maybe we need to do a pilgrimage there.
Consider it done.
I thought you meant you were there in 1917.
I was.
You're not that old.
And that kind of what you were saying, David, like leads me a little into, this is a little bit of an old topic, but just, the words toxic masculinity a little bit. I've heard other phrases tossed out like toxic femininity. And I don't mean to say any words that are going to upset anyone. If you hear certain words like, oh, Kevin said something, just hold on just for a second.
Blast him in the live chat. Blast him.
All right, go ahead and do that. But so, there's all these terms, and really, I think they're, what are words, really, they're supposed to be representations of what, our thoughts, feelings, what our spirit's trying to convey. God made us embodied creatures, and we're supposed to express ourselves with those bodies, right? But in a holy way. So words, toxic, masculine, feminine, what do these words mean anymore? We're losing a lot of what the meaning of them are. But I really think there can be, versions of masculinity that are toxic, as well as versions of femininity that can be toxic. So what is the answer to that? How do we become more, what's the opposite of toxic? Like a cure?
Life-giving?
Life-giving masculinity. Oh my gosh.
Virtuous? I don't know. Heroic?
No, life-giving, because this perfectly goes into theology of the body.
I feel you.
Do you see where I'm going?
I totally see it.
Yep.
Pick up what I'm putting down and just go with it.
Well, God said, "Be fruitful and multiply." No, I think that in the truest form, there's this interesting image that I don't know how legit this is. It was told to me many years ago. This meaning of this very, very widely known image. It's the image of the San Damiano cross. Okay, so I believe the San Damiano cross is the one that St. Francis found in the chapel when he received from God that he was supposed to rebuild the church, and he thought God meant literally brick by brick rebuilding that church, but God was
St. Francis of Assisi.
Francis of Assisi, thank you. Yeah. So I think it was in that chapel. Are you confirming?
Chapel called the San Damiano Chapel.
Is that what it was? Okay, yeah.
I think so. I could be wrong.
You're right.
Correct me if I'm
I
wrong.
believe you.
Let us know in the chat if we need to ask David to never come back. Just kidding.
Celsius conversion and that, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, in this image, the way that his abdomen is portrayed, there are those who will say that the way his abdomen is portrayed is meant to serve a dual meaning because of the way it's shaped, as though it is an erect phallus.
Okay.
All right. And the idea is that it is the ultimate form of masculinity, and it is the ultimate life-giving act to die for those you love.
Right.
And so there is meant to be a death to the self. Now, again, I'm not saying that that's for sure what that means and all this stuff, but that's just what was told me. I found it to be an interesting reflection, regardless of its legitimacy. It kind of leads to interesting thoughts and conversation. But it is in, whether it's in marriage or in friendship, in fatherhood, whatever it is, unless we're willing to die to ourselves for those relationships, it's really not real love. If I'm friends with someone because I benefit from that friendship in some way, versus just loving them that's it. I don't get anything out of it necessarily, although that wouldn't necessarily be a healthy relationship. But like my concern for that person should just be one of caring for that person and being willing to sacrifice for that person, whether it's a best friend or an acquaintance. Like if I ran into someone I barely knew, if I ran into someone I didn't know at the grocery store and saw that they were in need of help, I should be willing to stop what I'm doing and help them, unless there is some other, priority in that moment. But, and so I think that when it comes to life-giving masculinity, if you think about life beyond just the literal biological life, but like as a spiritual reality, and how, if you're kind to someone that we so often in life will walk past someone in a hall and like hope to not make eye contact with them. But what if you just totally caught them off guard and did the unexpected and greeted them with a smile? Like, I've never done that and someone been weird about it. I've only seen people's faces light up when you do that. And that is life-giving love. You're willing to die to your own concern for this awkward self-preservation and like, I don't want to get embarrassed, or I don't want to do something uncomfortable. Die to yourself in that way and love on this person you don't know. And then it's just taken all the more deeply in marriage, in best friendships, or just friendships in general, like life-giving love. If I can fill my wife with life in the joy and in the peace that she can feel, because she feels like I'm protecting her, like I'm loving her, like I'm willing to do anything for her, that is life-giving love. And ultimately, that authentic and complete disposition of self-gift is conducive to very life-giving love.
Yes.
In the conjugal embrace.
Biologically life-giving.
Yes.
And so this is something I've thought of a lot too, because I think just within the very biology of a woman, she understands what it means to give herself up.
Yeah.
Because it's built right into her. She has to give her body up for her child. God bless you, women. Like you just get it. And that's why so many women are on fire for, the abortion issue, because it goes directly against the nature of what a mother is supposed to be. A mother takes care of her child. But on the opposite end of that, for men, I think that men, I don't know. I think we need other men to show us what it means to give up our lives for others. Like, women innately get it. But I think we need mentors and other people to show us.
Yes.
Which is why I love F3. so not to
full circle.
Not to come back to it. But so the last week that we did this, we didn't have a block. But the way in which we worked out together was very like brotherly. And it was very, it was like mentor-ish. Would you say, David? Like where, if you're stronger and you get through the workout fastest, then you go back and you help the weakest person and you do reps for them, and it takes reps away from them.
Wow.
Like, how cool is just the metaphor for that? Like,
That's amazing.
I was moved, like, spiritually doing this workout. Like, it was a beautiful thing to see a man, like, he's running as hard as he can, and he comes back and he picks up his brother. Like, just the war type of analogies from this, like, are just so beautiful, and it just moves my heart. Working out, it's insane to think of it this way.
That's incredible. I'm still not going to do it, but that's amazing.
Okay.
No, that really is powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah. No, it was great running down and getting to the finish line and turning around and seeing, because I wasn't the first person, but I wasn't the last person, and I saw all of these guys running back with the very last person.
Yeah.
And what a blessing that was to witness.
Yeah.
Our friend Footloose put on that workout, organized it, and planned it out. It's always run by somebody in the group. I'm sorry, I'm not bad at this.
It's all right. It's all right.
Good with this. Bad with it. But that's the way they operate that group, and it's a good display of how we should operate as men.
Yeah,
I totally agree. And maybe shifting on to like a lighter type of topic.
Not ready yet. So
okay.
Actually got a comment here. Ethan, if you could pull up the chat. This is from my bride, who says, I disagree about women naturally knowing how to self-gift. It was extremely jarring for me to enter motherhood and sharing my body with babies. I think the modern culture is heavily influencing young women and confusing our hearts big time.
This is great.
This is a huge insight. Thank you, Alina, for sharing this. I totally see that. I mean, you think about the way that women are trained to see their bodies. If you're coming from a Christian upbringing, and it's like has a puritanical influence, your body is bad. The flesh is bad. The spirit is good. The flesh is bad. It's a very heretical and dualistic way of seeing the body. And it comes from puritanical Protestantism. That's where that comes from. It is not good. It is not good theology. It is not a good way to see your body. It is unhealthy and very damaging psychologically to see your body as bad.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this and you grew up with that, I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry, because your body is good. And your body is a part of who you are, and God made you good.
Absolutely.
And so, number one, that. Number two, think about how women are trained to use their bodies for manipulation. So their body is not a part of themselves, and it's not something to be gifted, but it is something to be held over men for manipulation, for control. And it's either that or it's constant like repelling of. So I just, Alina, thank you for that insight. It's huge.
And we can see that from the outside, but if the poor young ladies in this world, they're not witnessing, or they're witnessing it, but it's just the very slow and steady manipulation of them.
Yeah.
Like kind of a grooming in that regard.
That's a great word for it, I think, too. And I hate to say that, but grooming is exactly what that is. And I do stand by what I said, where, I do think that innately, in the biology of women, it is built for them, whether they like it or not, to give themselves.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Totally.
It's like in a literal way, it's in their DNA.
Exactly.
Right.
But it's the brokenness of our society. God gave us this beautiful body, right? And just like David said, where, the sexes complement each other. They're like puzzle pieces. We perfectly fit with each other, right? In that way, God made us beautiful. We're made in the image and likeness of God. We are co-creators with him. Our love literally creates life, just like God creates life. God does create life, right? But Satan takes that clay, like Christopher West says, he takes that clay and he twists it. And our society has done a lot of twisting of sexual desires, both from, making men weak to our sexual desires and not being able to control them. This, is exacerbated by, masturbation and pornography.
Well, and then even within marriage, like the women that are in marriages and no fault of their own necessarily, to whatever degree they're culpable, I don't know, every situation is different, but like there are so many wives, even in the Christian world, in the Catholic world, there are so many wives who don't understand the theology of marriage, the theology of intercourse, and how profoundly sacramental it is and how unifying it's meant to be. And there are these women who will use, even in marriage, as Christians, their bodies to manipulate their husband. And so I'm going to deprive you if you blah, 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 or, I'm angry, so blah, blah, blah. No, obviously you don't get jiggy with it if you're, if you need to reconcile first. But the point is that they're like hanging it over their husband's heads. And then what is that doing to the husband's psychology? The husband is like, well, I'm being deprived of this thing that I have a right to. And suddenly it's no longer about the mutual sharing of the gift of self, but it's like, I'm going to hold this back because whatever. And the guy's thinking like, I'm being deprived, and it's about what he's not getting, instead of both of them just thinking about gifting to each other.
And that largely falls on men, right? We let this happen. When we didn't follow the words of Pope, who did Humana Vitae?
Pius the
12th.
Yeah,
I think you're right. 12th. Pius XII wrote Humana Vitae, and people largely ignored it. Maybe not right away, but over time, it made life easier to use prophylactics, right? And there's no.
I literally had to look that word up the first time you used it.
Nice. But that's doing exactly what we're talking about, where you're giving some of yourself, but not all of yourself, right?
Yep.
I'm receiving or she's receiving some of you, but not all of you.
Yeah.
Right? There's some way that it's being blocked,
Mm-hmm.
and that is come through. We've made lies of our communication with our body. Right, we're lying with communication with our body, and that's coming through in every way in our culture right now. It's a huge source for a lot of what's going on.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't respected our, innate sexuality, because sexuality is something that God gave us.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's oriented in an orderly, in an ordered way and not a disordered way,
Mm-hmm.
then that's what God wants for us.
Yeah.
And I like Catholics are taking sex back
Yeah.
right now.
We're
Like,
reclaiming it.
We're really reclaiming it. Like, sex is a good thing. Like,
It's friggin' great, actually. Yeah.
right? Okay. Well, maybe I need some. No, never mind.
We'll have an episode on pointers later. But no, to David's point, I totally agree. Like, going back all the way to the Garden of Eden, like, wherever you stand, was it a literal, there were two naked people in the garden, or if you look at it metaphorically, whatever. I'm not asking you to get fixated on that. I'm asking you to look at the message behind what happened there. Man had a responsibility to protect their dominion. The garden, the world was Adam and Eve's dominion, but especially Adam. And he had a responsibility to protect his wife, and he didn't do it. Think about this: the devil, who was portrayed as a serpent in the garden, what was that? A creature. And Adam literally was given dominion over all creatures, and he let himself be dominated out of fear and out of not wanting to question his wife and all this stuff. And then look what happened. And all he had to do was say, "No, be gone. Get out of this garden.
Be gone, Satan.
Be gone, Satan." That's all he had the power to do that, and he didn't do it.
It's important to look at where we've screwed up,
Yeah.
right? But also to pay attention to what is good, true, beautiful, right. The Song of Songs, placed right there in the middle of the
talk to
Old
me.
Testament, right?
Yeah. Go all Barry White on me for me.
I don't have that voice. No way. That whole book, God is mentioned once in that book.
Oh,
more
yeah.
or less in passing.
Oh, yeah. He's talking about his wife's boobs, and he's talking about all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
It is about God pursuing us, right? That's it, the imagery that's there, that's always been there, and us receiving that, and that is an image that there's a duality to it, right? It's this image of God's love for us, but it's also what we should emulate in our lives.
Well, and we've been spiritually castrated. We
Yes.
have. And you look at that story from the garden again and taking what the Song of Songs, and you think, okay, how do we apply this today? Because we're not in paradise. We're not naked, thanks be to God, in our brokenness. Otherwise, it would have been great if we were naked. I don't know how to fix that. Anyways, so, but how do we deal with that practically? Well, we need to be strong men of virtue. We need to be pursuing virtue, and in the pursuing of our wives, also elevating them and protecting them from the evil one. And we can't do that authentically if we are living vicious lives of vice. We can't do that authentically if we're living in sin, if we live in persistent sin, unrepentant sin. We have to repent as men of everything and do it often. And when it's necessary, and as often as is necessary, go to confession. And then when we are in a position to boldly stand in front of that serpent and say, be gone, get out of here. You are not welcome in our marriage. You're not welcome in my home. Pray over your wife with confidence. Like literally, Alina and I will pray over each other when we need protection, when we need help, when we need healing. We'll literally, and you imagine that as being an awkward thing if you're not used to that type of prayer. But it's powerful for us to have that intimacy of prayer. And that type of intimacy, if you can have that intimacy where you can pray with each other and over each other in a powerful and dynamic way, I promise your sex life will be like you've never seen it.
And not only that too, but I read some studies somewhere where couples that pray together, like there's like a 2% divorce rate, and compare that with, whatever divorce rate you want. What are we at, like 40, 50, something percent?
I think it's over half. Yeah.
Yeah. So like just that type of intimacy, like we're starved for intimacy. I mean, you brought up the example of just saying hey to your neighbor. Like we're scared to even say hi to a stranger, right? And a lot of times our spouses become strangers almost, right? So what is like a practical first step to someone that's like, okay, I don't have this level of intimacy like with my spouse. What's like step one? How do I start this as a man? What's like a practical step?
Do you want to
Go for it.
Okay. Well, for me, I think that the first step is to repent of your sins, like I was saying. I think go to confession, get yourself in a good place as a man. And when you are of clear mind and of clean spirit, talk to your wife about the changes that you want to work towards together. Talk to her about what's on your heart and how you have abdicated your responsibilities as a man and you want to fix that. And it's really easy because we have such a lack of role models. We have such a lack of examples. It's really easy for this to accidentally be communicated because we haven't seen better. For it to accidentally be communicated as like chauvinism and like, I want to run this house and whatever. Like you have to have such a pure intention of protecting your domain, your family, your wife, your children, protecting, you're serving, right? Servant leadership.
Wash their feet.
Yeah, literally. Honestly, if you need to plan a date night with your wife where what you do is literally reenact the washing of the feet to show her, to demonstrate to her, and for it to become a tangible reality, what you want to do, like freaking do that.
Not in a subservient way, but like in like a masculine, like, like I'm protecting you. Like this is my duty. This is my job. This is what God wants me to be doing. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the another thing to go with that is go outside of your comfort zone.
Oh yeah.
Right. If you haven't witnessed it, or if you're just not sure whether or not you're capable of it, ask God.
Amen.
Right. We're called to go outside of our comfort zone.
Yep.
We're called to be way more than we think we are capable of. We're called to be more than we are capable of. We're called to be leaning on God, pursue greatness. We're made for so much more.
And that comfort zone is so dangerous. It's such a foothold for the devil because if you get intimidated by stepping out of that comfort zone, you're going to get stopped from so much greatness.
A lot of us, comfort zone is watching Netflix and letting it roll to the next episode, right? When there's something you could be doing with your spouse. Yeah.
So to your question about first steps, one of the things that I do when I'm involved in helping run like engaged couples workshops or whatever, one of the things we do in a session that is actually about the intimacy in prayer is we'll bring one of the engaged couples forward in front of everybody. We'll have them sit knee to knee, and we'll teach them how to pray over each other.
This sounds so embarrassing.
It's no. You would think so, but it literally, I've never been a part of that demonstration where people aren't crying, where that couple, man and woman, aren't crying. Like I've never been a part of it where it does not become insanely powerful because they're invited first to share about what is on their heart. And this is in front of everybody, but it's eye to eye, knee to knee. And they're sharing things that they maybe haven't had an open door to share until that moment. And then after they've shared, their fiance or fiancée they pray for that intention over them in that moment in front of everybody. And we show everybody, yeah, this is hard, but wow, it's powerful. And imagine if you lived your entire marriage with that intimacy in prayer.
That was a lot. I'm just imagining that, and I'm imagining like I'm getting anxious even just thinking that. And my wife and I pray together every single day. I was like, okay, when I asked, this is why I just ask open-ended questions like that, because here's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, maybe read the Bible together every day. Maybe, look at praying the rosary or something.
That's very comfort zone-y.
And Nick's like, no, kneel next to each other in a group of strangers, and just start bawling and just confess your most wicked things. And
well, I literally said nothing of the sort. Just so we're clear.
Isn't it amazing how my brain goes? But yeah. So.
Well, if you happen to be attending the Engaged Couples Workshop at St. Tom's in which month are we doing it? May, maybe? We'll lead you in that. So Congrats.
Everyone cancels.
The fun thing is we ask for a volunteer before the session starts, and like nobody knows what it's for.
Okay.
A volunteer couple. And so now if anyone watches this, they're going to be like, I'm not volunteering.
Taking notes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I want to transition just into like just for a couple minutes into like a little fun topic. So this is all in the context of, men getting together, trying to build each other up and trying to make each other stronger. So when men get together, and first off, should men get together? Is it okay for men to have like our own spaces where there's no women? Is that crazy?
He-Man's woman.
Wait, are you talking about
Woman hater club.
are you talking about a man cave, or are you talking about what do you be specific? Because man caves can get pretty hairy. That's a great pun. I didn't even think of it until I heard Ethan laughing his butt off in the control room.
This is true. Okay, that's another episode entirely.
That's true.
But so
Oh my
I would
God.
just say, like, can men get together in a group? It doesn't have to be in a cave together, although that sounds kind of cool.
Well, if it's an actual cave, that's freaking awesome.
There's a bunch of hermits that I've been reading about that are just, they live in caves. They're cool. But just a men's group. Is it cool for men's, to get together? Like, is that good for men? Is that good for women?
I think it's necessary.
Yes.
Necessary. Necessary. Okay. We're in agreement. If you're not, okay. But, okay. So it's okay for men to get together. When men get together, fun stuff can happen, right? Sometimes we poke fun at each other, and sometimes we give each other goofy nicknames. And that's what happens in this F3 group is you're not known by your actual name. You are given a nickname your first time that you go there, and that's your nickname forever. So David, what is your nickname?
Orange kilt.
Why is your nickname Orange Kilt?
I was wearing orange pants that day. They ask you to get into a circle at the end and describe something about yourself. They'll ask you fun questions. I think the best they asked you, Kevin, was what's your favorite chick flick movie?
Oh, gosh.
Thank goodness you didn't answer it.
I'm like, I don't watch movies.
So they ask you a series of questions about yourself, just trying to get to know you a little bit. And out of that, they give you a nickname. Usually there's a little bit of humor around it.
Yes.
So I was wearing orange pants that day. My favorite movie is Braveheart, so I got called Orange Kilt.
I was
great.
literally going to watch that today, and I'm like, oh, we're doing Exodus 90. I can't watch it.
Awkward.
And so in a similar way to what David's was, our other friend, Rob Holler, whom you may know, got just the coolest nickname, and I'm so jealous. His nickname, Demon Drop. How cool is that? So
That's great.
he's from Sandusky. So if you're not familiar, if you're out of the area, Cedar Point, like one of the world's best roller coaster places, is
the
there.
world's best roller coaster.
I think, yeah,
That's right.
I think
It's
it's
up
still
there.
the best. And one of the attractions there is Demon Drop. You literally just like get in this box and you just drop.
It's gone.
No way. Ugh.
It's extinct.
Well,
The
now
name
That's
will live
awful.
on.
I'm sad.
Yeah, it lives on in Rob.
Well, Rob, if you're watching, this is your torch to carry. So with mine, I was like, okay, I'm a drummer. Please give me something drum oriented. And they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I do this or I do that. Or, I work with Awakened Catholic. They're like, okay, drummer, Catholic, like, okay, Phil Collins, Ringo Starr. But with Phil Collins, a famous drummer, Genesis is the band that he was in. And so my nickname is Genesis.
That's fantastic.
It's way too in depth, and I feel that I
No,
cannot
it's great. It's worth
adequately
it. There you
live
are.
up to it. Yeah. Ah, Phil Collins, so good. Well, that's me.
I just spit a whole bunch.
It's worth it. It's worth it. All right, guys. Well, hey, I want to end there. Do you guys have any other things you want to say about, men getting together, physical, working
Do it.
out?
Do
Just
it.
do
And
it,
if you aren't doing it, if you're not even, so many guys are not even connected to a group of guys that it'd be easy to get plugged in like that. What would you guys say would be a good thing for that? Because I've just like, I don't know if it's because I've worked at parishes and like I've just always known a bunch of people that I could get plugged into. I started getting into my faith at the Newman Center in college, so like I've never struggled with that.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many guys I know do.
Ask David. He will reach out to you
Yeah.
every month.
He will fly
until
to
you
wherever
go.
you are and work out with you.
Well, put yourself in a position of the person you want to become, right? So if you want to if you want to find good, strong male leaders, start volunteering at your church in an area where that's going to be, where those people are going to be, right? Our PSR classes or whatever, CCD classes.
Oh, parish, like religious education.
Religious education.
Yeah.
There's maybe 2 guys in every parish doing that and 20 women.
We need more men.
We need more men doing that. Go there, and the other guy that's there, because there's only one, start hanging out with him. That's a place to start.
Yeah.
Go be around, be around the people. Start doing the things that the person you want to be around is doing. Right.
That's exactly right. And there's you have to humble yourselves when you first go, because you have to be okay with being humiliated.
Yeah.
And that's a tough thing for our pride. But you have to be okay with that. You have to humble yourself. And then when you get there, just know, God is always with you. Like, Jesus loves you. Pray for the intercession of your patron saint, your guardian angel. I
just thought of something.
Yeah.
A lot of parishes run parish retreats. Many of them are gender-based. So if you're a man, there's a men's version of it. Same for women. Some of them are called ACTS retreats. Some of them are cursillos. Some of them are whatever. And these are all really great opportunities to go on a personal journey and on a communal journey. Like, you meet people, and there is no better way to develop new friendships than to journey with people through a retreat. Like, it is just huge. By the end of it, you don't want to leave each other. And so if you are looking for a way to quickly inject yourself into a community, go on a parish retreat. That can really be, hopefully it's a great parish with, great theology and, solidly Catholic, because it could also be damaging if it's not those things. But yeah, go on a parish retreat.
And open yourself up to suffering. I know it kind of sounds crazy, but if you suffer a difficult task with brothers, your bonds strengthen. And so we need this type of suffering, and we need to suffer well, and we need to suffer with our brothers. So let's leave it there. Great conversation, guys. Everyone, if you made it this far in the men's show, like it, subscribe to the channel, follow us, share it if you can everywhere. We're building a really cool community. We do this every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, for our other friends out there. But join us, every single week we're doing this. Send us questions. Join, the awakenapp.io so you can be part of the live stream, and just follow us everywhere. I would love to do some type of men's retreat, the type of things that we're talking about, something, tangible that we are helping physically with our world. So this is, we're just getting started. And if you want to be a part of this, join us at themenshow.com, become a patron. We'd love for you to join us. So, and
we like what Kevin just kind of hinted at for a men's retreat hosted by us. We're very seriously looking at that. So let us know. Send us a direct message, a private message on whatever platform you're on. Let us know if that's something that would interest you and what you would hope to get out of it. And today I literally tried to start a rosary hike with some people, and then my car died. So I'm humbling myself. We have to humble ourselves. Things go wrong sometimes, but we just keep pushing forward. So push forward with us and join us. We can't lose if we're all in it together for Christ. So amen. Everybody, this has been David Uhlenhake. Can anyone follow you anywhere? Is there nothing like that? Okay, nothing like that. Nothing like that. Nick Delatorre, any plugs you want to do? I'm all over the place. AwakenCatholic.org, baby. And follow him at the Daily Word. He's going to be doing later. I do the Daily Saint, just daily content at the Awaken app that you will love. And he walks through the Bible. I walk through the lives of the saints. It's a great time. So join us there too. I'll actually be doing that later tonight, so on a live stream. So make sure to subscribe to that. Exactly. So, hey, I'm Kevin Jorrey, the host here. So until next time, everybody, stay manly. I had to make that as awkward as possible. That was totally glorious. I don't know. Are we muted, Ethan?